Today, the 28th of July, Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this now. It's not just a message. It's a divine emergency. There is someone who tried to harm you. Someone cloaked in false smiles. Someone who sent spiritual harm. Behind your back. Heaven saw it. Archangel Michael saw it. And now, he is revealing the name. Not in the way humans speak it, but in the language of energy, truth, and divine justice. Right now, as you hear these words, this moment is not random. This message was assigned to your soul on this exact date, July 29th. That's why it found you. Because heaven needs you to know who tried to harm you, and how you were protected, without even realizing it. Archangel Michael's sword is glowing. The truth is about to be revealed. You must hear this, because this is the beginning of your awakening. There is no such thing as coincidence in the divine realm. July 29th was chosen, not by man, not by you, but by heaven. You may not realize it yet, but something was being orchestrated above you, behind the veil, in silence. While you slept, while you cried, while you wondered if your prayers were being heard. This date, July 29th, is not an accident. It is an appointment. A sacred time marker. A window that was sealed. Until now. Archangel Michael says, your soul cried out. The forces of darkness responded. But we were already standing in between. You've been sensing it, haven't you? That something felt off. A heaviness around certain people. A dream you couldn't shake. A silence that wasn't peaceful, but loaded with meaning. The truth is, a spiritual battle has already begun over your name. And now, the veil is being pulled back. You see, not all warnings come with thunder. Some come gently. Like this. But don't mistake gentleness for weakness. This is a divine emergency, and you are at the center of it. Someone, knowingly or unknowingly, sent a force against you. It may have come as a curse, a whispered chant, a jealous stare, or even a cruel intention wrapped in false kindness. The angels watched. Michael stepped forward. He raised his sword not just in defense, but in revelation. So you would finally see what was hidden. Right now, you might be asking, but why me? Why now? Why is Archangel Michael calling me specifically on this day? Because today, something opened in the spiritual world. A scroll. With your name on it. And that scroll revealed something urgent. Your soul was targeted. But heaven responded first. Archangel Michael didn't wait. He moved before the curse could land. Before the energy could infiltrate your peace. Before the lie could spread. Before the trap could close. But now, he needs you to see. To know. To understand who sent it. And why. This is your chance to step into divine knowing. To stop walking blind in a world full of spiritual traps. To awaken the shield that's always been above your head, but hidden behind your disbelief. Archangel Michael is calling out your name today because the next step cannot be taken blindly. He says, there is power in the name of the one who sees. And you are now among the seers. Let that settle in. You are not watching this by accident. You are not hearing this just to feel good. This message was planned, long before you opened your eyes today. It waited for July 29th. It waited for your soul to be ready. And now, it's here. But the warning is only the beginning. Michael says there's more. You must know the origin of the attack. Because the battle isn't over. And some of the danger is still hiding behind familiar faces. So stay with me. We're about to walk into the revelation. We're going to uncover the hidden identity of the one who sent darkness your way. But before we do, just take this moment. Close your eyes, if you can. And say silently in your heart, I am ready. I receive what heaven is about to reveal. Because once we continue, there's no turning back. What is seen cannot be unseen. But what is known can be healed. And what is faced can be overcome. Stay here. Stay open. Heaven is still speaking. But what exactly was sent to you? Not just a whisper. Not merely a passing negative thought. But a concentrated force of darkness. Something intended to interrupt your peace, fracture your blessings, distort your purpose. Yes, on the surface, it might have looked like simple misfortunes, financial troubles, sudden health issues, broken relationships, or even a lingering sense of fear you couldn't quite explain. But beneath that surface, something more sinister was moving. Archangel Michael reveals. This was a spiritual assignment. Someone, perhaps knowingly, perhaps unconsciously, sent negative energy your way. A jealous soul. A bitter heart. Someone who uttered your name not in prayer, but in resentment. They thought you were unaware. But heaven saw. And while they were plotting in silence, the angels were moving in light. You may have noticed the sleepless nights. The heavy energy when you walked into certain places. The sharp shift in someone's behavior towards you. These were not coincidences. These were spiritual indicators that darkness was approaching, but you were not left defenseless. Right now, Michael says, they thought they had hidden the curse, but it is exposed. Heaven never allowed it to land fully. The damage you felt? It was only the shadow of what was planned. Because at the moment of its release, a higher power intercepted it. You were marked, yes, but marked for divine intervention, not destruction. Take a deep breath. This is not to frighten you. It is to awaken you. Because only when we acknowledge the reality of spiritual warfare, can we truly accept the magnitude of our protection. Michael stands, sword drawn, watching over your path. He knows your name. He sees your battles. And today, he is not just warning you, he is delivering the one thing your soul has been crying out for. Truth. And now, he whispers. You are being given access to what others cannot see, the name, the moment, and the purpose behind the attack. But before we go deeper into who sent it, you must be ready to receive this next part. Warning right now, pause. Center yourself. Because in the next revelation, everything will change. Let your soul stay open. Let your heart prepare. Because what Michael is about to show you is the face of the one who dared whisper your name in darkness. Archangel Michael leans closer now. His divine voice solemn yet piercing. You've felt their energy before. You've welcomed them into your life. But behind a smile, they harbored envy. Behind kind words, they carried poison. Yes. It's someone familiar. Michael doesn't want to alarm you, but he does want you aware. The force sent to you wasn't from a stranger. It came from a connection that had grown silently toxic over time. It might be someone you once trusted. A friend who grew distant. A relative who never truly celebrated your growth. Or even a past partner whose spirit couldn't handle your healing. They never cursed you aloud. No candle. No chant. But in their thoughts, they wished against your joy. In their emotions, they crafted subtle storms. Heaven heard their words when no one else did. When they said, "Why them and not me?" When they whispered, "They don't deserve that light." You see, the curse wasn't just sent, it was felt before it ever arrived. You may have brushed off the uneasy dreams, the sudden exhaustion, the moments of anxiety that made no sense. But they were all signs. Now, Michael lays his hand over your spiritual heart and speaks softly. Their identity has already been revealed in your spirit. You felt the shift. You saw the mask slip. That name you just thought of. Yes, that's the one. Trust it. But do not confront them. This isn't about revenge, it's about awareness. Heaven has already handled the punishment. The curse they tried to send has returned to them sevenfold. Not out of malice, but because divine law cannot be broken. And you are being called higher. This moment is sacred. The exposure of their identity is not for gossip, but for release. Let go of the bitterness. Let go of the confusion. You were protected long before you even knew you were under attack. This is why you're watching this right now. It's no coincidence. The angels scheduled this message. They knew your soul needed this truth before the next chapter began. Because what's coming for you is divine restoration. Michael says, now that you know who sent it, prepare to know what heaven is about to return to you. Blessings that were delayed will now arrive. Doors that mysteriously shut will open again. Relationships that crumbled under spiritual weight will either be healed, or replaced with something divinely aligned. And most of all, your intuition, your spiritual eyes, are being awakened like never before. Warning: take this moment seriously. Close your eyes. Breathe in the light. And declare silently in your heart, I am protected. I am rising. I am chosen. The evil that was sent has failed. The veil has been lifted. Now, are you ready to receive what heaven kept safe for you? Now that the veil is lifted. Now that the source of the spiritual attack has been exposed. Archangel Michael gently raises his sword, but not to strike. Instead, he points it toward the heavens. And at that very moment, something extraordinary happens. A divine scroll appears in the sky, shimmering gold, glowing with ancient script, the record of your destiny. The record of what was meant for you before the curse tried to block it. Michael speaks, and his voice seems to echo through every dimension at once. There is a blessing with your name on it that has waited too long. And now, it shall be returned to you without delay. This blessing is not just one thing, it is a wave of divine recompense. A restoration across multiple areas of your life where you were left confused, heartbroken, or doubting your path. For some, it will come as a financial breakthrough that was delayed. You were meant to rise in abundance, but the curse brought drought. Now, that season is over. The blocked opportunities are being rerouted back into your life with interest. For others, it will come as a reconnection with purpose. A clarity you haven't felt in years. You'll wake up with focus again. You'll feel guided, creative, passionate, like the real you has returned. Because that's exactly what's happening. The curse clouded your light, but now your soul is glowing again. And for many, this blessing will arrive as divinely protected relationships. The wrong ones will fall away without drama. The right ones will suddenly appear, soul-aligned friends, supporters, and perhaps even a divine partner, sent not to drain but to build you. Because now, your spirit is no longer entangled with energy that wants your fall. You're being surrounded by those who celebrate your elevation. Michael places a celestial seal over your life now. And as he presses it into your energy field, a vibration pulses outward. That vibration sends signals into the spirit realm. This soul has been cleansed. Their path has been cleared. Let the restoration begin. And if you've been doubting whether it's too late, listen closely now. Heaven is not bound by time. What was stolen from you in the last 5 years? What was blocked since that betrayal? What was hidden behind other people's manipulation? It's all being repackaged and returned. But erase the mystery. Some of it may not come in the same form you expected. You may not get back the exact job, person, or situation you lost. Because heaven doesn't do rewinds, it does elevations. Michael says, what you're about to receive will not only replace what was lost, it will surpass it. It will shock those who counted you out. And now, pay close attention. As you're hearing this, someone's name may be coming to mind. Someone you need to forgive. Do it. Right now. Because that forgiveness is the final key that unlocks your full release. Holding on to bitterness keeps the door halfway open. But release, pure surrender, that's when the flood of blessings can fully pour in. Right here, mid-script, let this message be your moment of transformation. If this resonates in your soul, that's not by chance. Heaven doesn't send signs to everyone, but it sent this to you. So take a deep breath. Feel that pressure on your chest lift. Feel that warmth in your hands or neck. That's the angelic energy beginning to move. You're stepping into divine alignment now. Say silently, I am ready. I receive. I trust. And now, Archangel Michael reveals what you've been sensing in the quiet corners of your spirit. There's a name. Not one that appears in thunder or flames, but one that has whispered around you. In moments when your body shivered without cold. When your soul felt disturbed for no reason. When you walked into a room and felt the energy shift, just because they had been there. Yes, that person. The one who smiled. A little too quickly. Offered help. But it always came with conditions. Who asked questions. Not out of love, but to measure your weakness. You felt it. And Archangel Michael confirms it. This isn't about human revenge. This is spiritual justice. He says, they cloaked themselves in light, but heaven saw through them. They sent harm. They wished illness. They tried to delay your destiny. You may have called them friend, or trusted them as family. But they allowed dark whispers to enter their heart. And worse, they acted on it. Their intentions were never just envy. It was deeper, something spiritually toxic. They projected fear onto you. They tried to attach spiritual leeches to your path, hoping you would fall. Quietly, painfully, without ever knowing why. But heaven intervened. Archangel Michael stepped into your timeline. He rearranged your fate. He caught the prayer meant to twist your energy. And turned it back. Right now, as you listen, Michael is revealing their identity to you not by a spoken name, but by a recognition. You're feeling it. Your body may feel heavy. Your heart may be racing. That's not fear. That's truth. Truth confronting denial. He says, they spoke against you when you were not present. They questioned your blessings. They said, why them? Why not me? And so, they tried to balance the scales. In the shadows. But now the balance is truly being restored. Because you were never alone. Michael adds this. The reason you didn't fall is because your soul was protected before the attack even began. They moved. But heaven moved first. Let that sink in. Your protection didn't begin when you asked for it. It was already surrounding you. Because Archangel Michael knew. And heaven knew. Your mission was too important to fail. This person is no longer hidden. Their power is broken. Their access to your path is severed. Let go of fear. Let go of questions. You have your confirmation. And Michael says, now. Walk in your truth. Speak no curse. Carry no hate. Just move on. For they can no longer touch what God has sealed. And right here, as you breathe this in, you're shifting. But this divine message does not end here. There is more, much more, that you must know. Because the next part of this revelation, it's not about them. It's about what's coming for you now. The divine upgrade. The heavenly repositioning. The reward for surviving what you never knew you were fighting. Are you ready? Then listen closely. But just as the forces of darkness moved with stealth, preparing to strike at your peace and future, heaven responded with power that shattered the silence. Yes. What you didn't see, what you didn't feel, was the battle that erupted in the spirit realm, on your behalf. Archangel Michael did not wait for your cry for help. He already saw it coming. He already read the intentions of those who wanted to see you suffer. And he stood before them, not with words, but with divine fire in his sword. You see, when evil tries to send despair, confusion, financial ruin, heartbreak, Archangel Michael intercepts. Not with fear. Not with revenge. But with divine justice. Right now, there are moments in your life you can't explain. The car that almost hit you, but didn't. The betrayal you sensed, just before it happened. The dream that made no sense, until later it saved you. That's not coincidence. That's the result of spiritual war behind the veil. Heaven sent its silent warriors. Archangel Michael, with the legions of the Most High, blocked energies that were meant to reach you. But didn't. Because of divine command. And do you know when this war reached its peak? On this very date. July 29th. This was the climax of a cycle that began long ago. The energy lines, the karmic timelines, the curses, the whispers against you, they reached their boiling point. But instead of breaking you, they broke against heaven's wall. And now, Michael says, it's time they know what was planned. And what was prevented. Pause for a moment. What if the very thing you feared was already defeated? What if the heartbreak you prayed to avoid never arrived because Michael removed the messenger? You were protected. But now, you are being informed. Because from this point forward, the protection becomes awareness. And awareness is your new armor. Let's move deeper. There is one specific sign that proves heaven fought for you recently. It's subtle. But once you see it, you'll know the message is real. There was a moment, perhaps in the past 3 days, when you paused and felt something strange. It could have been subtle. Like a sudden chill. A flickering light. A ringing in your ear. Or a dream that left you unsettled but somehow protected. That was not random. That was your sign. The mark left behind by heaven's warriors when they passed through your atmosphere. You see, when Archangel Michael defeats an incoming curse or psychic attack, he leaves a signature, a spiritual echo, so the soul may one day awaken and remember the victory. And if you're listening right now, it means your soul was meant to recall it today. Let's go back to that strange moment. Did electronics behave oddly? Did your mood suddenly shift for no reason? Did you hear your name called when no one was around? These are not hallucinations. These are angelic breadcrumbs. They're spiritual timestamps left behind by those who moved through your realm without needing to be seen. And here's something deeper. If you've seen the number 29 appear more than once this week, on clocks, receipts, license plates, it is not a fluke. July 29th is coded in your soul as a spiritual checkpoint. Because this is the date where darkness tried to rise, but light pushed back harder. Archangel Michael whispers now. The one who sent it thought you'd never know. But heaven always leaves a trail for the chosen. Even animals may have responded. A bird flying near your window. A dog barking at nothing. A butterfly landing on your hand. Why? Because animals sense angels. And angels move through frequencies that echo through nature. Now listen closely. If you felt like crying recently, but didn't know why. If your body suddenly felt heavier, as if something passed through you. If you had a dream of someone warning you, guiding you, or standing with a sword. These are all confirmations. These are sacred clues that heaven left to prepare you for this moment of awakening. Archangel Michael is now saying, you have seen the sign. You are ready for the name. The name of the one who cursed you. The one whose intention heaven blocked. And what you must do now. To stay protected as they try again. Because make no mistake, they will. Let us reveal the hidden identity behind the attack. Archangel Michael speaks again, and this time, the veil lifts. He says the curse sent toward you did not come from a stranger. It came from someone who once knew your face. Someone who smiled with you, possibly even prayed with you, and yet behind the curtain of their spirit, there was envy. Bitterness. A secret resentment they buried beneath politeness. This person did not curse you with candles or rituals. No, this was more dangerous. They cursed you with intention. With thoughts laced in shadow. With quiet moments of, they don't deserve this. I wish they'd fall. I hope it all comes crashing down. And in the spiritual realms, these thoughts manifest as energy. Energy becomes entities. And entities become weapons. Michael shows a vision. A conversation that ended awkwardly. A friend who began to drift. Someone whose eyes changed, just once, but you felt it. He says, the curse came not through words, but through emotion, masked in casual gestures and unseen glances. They believed your success was unfair. Your peace undeserved. They believed heaven had favored the wrong soul. And so they summoned darkness without even knowing what they were doing. But Archangel Michael intercepted the weapon. He stood at the gates of your energetic field and raised his sword. Still. He warns. This person will come again. They might reach out soon. With a message. A phone call. A subtle gesture of reconnection. But now. You must not let them back in. Because the curse they sent, though neutralized, left residue. And any open door may allow it to reactivate. Here is how to know who they are. Their name begins with a J, M, S, or L. They may be born in March, July, or November. You felt tired after being near them, every single time. You've seen them in your dreams, watching, not speaking. They once joked about your spiritual journey. But behind their laughter, you sensed something darker. Archangel Michael says this now. You do not need to fear them. You only need to identify and create distance. They fed the shadows. You now walk with light. Do not return to the place where heaven fought to pull you from. Because the final wave of darkness is still approaching. And unless you hold your shield firmly in place, the next attack may be stronger. But fear not. Michael has not left you. In fact, he has one final command that must be followed tonight. Before the clock strikes midnight, Archangel Michael speaks, and his voice grows firmer now. No longer just a message, but a divine instruction. Before this night ends, you must act. If you delay, the remnants of what was sent may try to reattach themselves. But if you obey now, your soul will be sealed in light. Permanently. The clock is ticking. Before midnight tonight, you must light a single white candle. Place it in the center of your room, not near electronics, and not near any mirrors. Just you. The candle. And silence. Michael says, when the flame rises, speak your name aloud. Not your full name. Just the one you are called by the heavens, the name you feel most in your heart. Then say this prayer once. Slowly. Without breaking focus. Archangel Michael, protector of divine order. Stand beside me now as I reject all unseen harm. Cut all cords of envy, jealousy, and shadow sent to my name. Shield me in light, seal my spirit, and cast all curses into fire. So it is. So it shall be. Then sit in stillness. Do not scroll your phone. Do not talk. Just breathe. You may feel something. A tingle across your shoulders, or heat in your palms. This is Michael's energy arriving. This is his sword making the final cut. You might even hear a whisper, not external, but deep inside. You are free now. You are not who they tried to curse. You are who heaven is rising. And when the candle has burned for 11 minutes, blow it out. No more. No less. Do not use water. Do not relight it afterward. Dispose of the wax before sunrise, either buried in the earth or thrown far from your home. And when that is done, sleep. Because Archangel Michael and his legion of blue-flamed angels will take over the rest. They will stand guard at your doors. They will walk through your dreams. They will clean your aura as you rest. But you must do this before midnight. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Tonight. Michael warns. Spiritual battles are fought with obedience. This command is not superstition, it is sacred alignment. The curse was real. The danger is real. But so is your protection. Now you must match your energy to heaven's will. That is how you become truly untouchable. And just before his presence begins to fade, Archangel Michael says one last thing. There is someone watching this message who knows this curse was for them. But they are still unsure. They doubt themselves. They believe they are imagining things. To that one, I say, you are not wrong. You were chosen for this message because your name echoed in my realm. Now rise. And obey. And if you've made it this far, this message was never a coincidence. You were meant to hear every word. Archangel Michael is waiting. Will you complete the ritual? Or leave the door half open? At that very moment. In the realm unseen by your eyes, but deeply known by your soul, something profound occurred. A confrontation, silent to the world but thunderous in the spirit. Archangel Michael did not merely whisper your name. He roared it across the battleground between heaven and the shadow. Your soul, without even knowing it, became the center of a divine standoff. And now listen carefully. There was a figure. A dark one. Not dressed in black robes or physical form, but cloaked in jealousy, cloaked in bitterness. This entity, human or spirit, had tried to send a curse upon your life, through intention, through ritual, through sheer force of hatred. But Archangel Michael drew his sword. Not a sword made of steel, but of heavenly light. A flame forged not in fire, but in truth and divine command. And when that dark intention approached your energy field, something incredible happened. Michael stepped in front of you, between the curse and your being, and struck it down. The heavens did not allow it to pass. That is why. Even though you felt tired, anxious, confused recently, you did not collapse. Because the full blow of what was sent never touched you. Michael, in his brilliance, blocked it. But here is the divine truth, this was only the first wave. That person, whoever they are, is still watching. Still hoping their intentions find a crack in your light. But they've made a mistake. Because this message has reached you now. You were meant to open this. On this very date. July 29th. Nothing about today is random. Right now, your name is echoing in celestial halls, not just as a soul needing help, but as a warrior awakening. And Archangel Michael is giving you the next step. Before I reveal the name behind this attack, before I let you hear what heaven has disclosed, take a deep breath. Because what comes next will shake your understanding of what's been happening around you. But it will also empower you. Because heaven didn't just defend you. It is about to equip you. You've likely felt it. That strange sense that someone was smiling to your face, but hiding something behind their words. That someone was watching your growth, not with joy, but with envy. That someone knew just enough about your life to target what matters most to you. Archangel Michael has made it clear, this whisperer is not a stranger. They are someone who knows you, either personally, spiritually, or ancestrally. Someone who couldn't handle the light you carry. So they tried to dim it. But here is the twist that will make your heart skip. They didn't cast this curse out of pure hatred. They did it out of desperation. Your recent blessings, your inner awakening, your quiet strength, it activated something in them. A fear. A spiritual insecurity. A panic that their control, their status, their energy over you was slipping. So they whispered your name. Not in prayer, but in manipulation. This could be someone who once called themselves your friend. Someone who once prayed with you, but now prays against you. A relative bound in generational bitterness. Or even a former lover whose soul still clings to yours, refusing to release its grip. Michael reveals that this person has been thinking about you intensely. Obsessively. Dreaming about you. Repeating your name. Spreading your name in dark circles, not always rituals, but in the energy of gossip, envy, and word curse. But why now? Because your breakthrough is closer than they ever expected. And they can feel it. The shift. The movement. The divine hand reaching down to elevate you. That's why they acted in fear. But they didn't realize. They were up against a force far greater than them. Archangel Michael. Your name was never alone. Heaven has a record of every spiritual attack, and every time you survived silently, it was written in gold. Archangel Michael steps forward now, not as a messenger, but as a warrior. He says the final bind that connects you to this curse is not external. It's energetic. A cord, invisible to the eye, but deeply felt in your soul. This cord is not just built on their dark whispers, it is sustained by your memory, your pain, your agreement with the past. But now, it is time to sever it. Michael instructs you to perform what he calls the mirror ritual, a sacred act that reflects the truth back to both realms, earth and spirit. You don't need candles. You don't need ancient languages. You just need a mirror. And your voice. Here is how you begin. Step into silence. Choose a moment when the world is still. Face yourself in the mirror, not to judge, not to analyze, but to witness. Michael stands behind you as you begin. Speak these words aloud, or in your heart, with full conviction. In the presence of divine light, I see myself whole. I break every curse spoken over my name. I reject every soul tie that holds me back. I reclaim my power, my light, my peace. What is not mine, returns to its source. And what is of God remains with me. As you say these words, Michael places his sword of light upon your reflection. Not to harm, but to cut. You may feel a pressure in your chest. A stirring in your solar plexus. Even a tear rising without reason. Let it happen. That is your spirit releasing the last grip of the curse. And in that moment, Archangel Michael declares, the cord is broken. The curse is reversed. You are sealed in divine protection. This isn't just spiritual poetry, it is a transaction in the spirit world. You have cancelled an old contract and written a new one in light. But Michael warns. Once you're free, the enemy often sends a test. A message, a memory, a trigger meant to reconnect the broken bind. This is where your awareness becomes your shield. Remember who you are now. You are the version of you who saw the trap and chose the throne instead. You are the healed one. The unbound one. The rising one. And Michael, with a fierce glow in his eyes, says this. Tell them this time. I don't just carry protection. I am protection. And your light can no longer be touched without permission from heaven. Now, as this ritual comes to a close, Michael leaves one final instruction. But it is not just for your healing. It is a message for others, whose names are being whispered even now in the dark. He wants you to become a messenger too. He says, tell them. Let the others know they are not cursed. They are called. Because what was meant to destroy you will now become the testimony that awakens others. And if you're still here listening, feeling, transforming, then you are chosen to be the voice of protection for someone else. And now, we come to the name. Archangel Michael says, this name was whispered. Not by lips of light, but by a soul soaked in jealousy, pain, and vengeance. This person, once close to your energy, envied the light you carried. They believed your rising meant their fall. Instead of choosing healing, they chose hidden harm. Michael shows the moment, silent, behind closed doors, a candle flickering as your name was spoken in a ritual meant to bind your spirit. They believed this darkness would stop your destiny. But the light within you screamed for divine intervention. And heaven heard. This name was not said once, it was repeated, over and over, attempting to bind the spiritual thread of your fate. But Michael intercepted. The sword of truth cut through the chain of shadows. Still, the echo of that name lingers in the spiritual field. And you deserve to know it. Not for revenge, but for clarity, for discernment. So your soul no longer walks blindly among shadows disguised as friends. Keep listening. The next sign reveals exactly how heaven exposed the one behind it all. Before you leave, take a deep breath. Archangel Michael did not bring this message to you by chance. You were guided here. Your soul has been crying for protection, clarity, and peace, and now, heaven has responded. If this message stirred something within you, if your heart felt seen, protected, or awakened, then this is not the end. Subscribe now, because Archangel Michael has more to say, and the next divine message will arrive at the exact moment your spirit needs it most. And if you feel called to support this divine mission, your super thanks will help keep these messages flowing to others who are still in the dark, waiting for light. Remember, you are not alone. You are not forgotten. The angels are closer than ever. Your protection has already begun. We'll meet again. When heaven decides it's time.